Welcome to the This Week in Star Wars Celebration 5 Preview Special, Part 1, The Swag. Only a fool would try to shop Celebration 5 without a list, and we've got the mother of all lists coming up for you right here. The highlights, the lowlights, and everything in between, from the official Celebration store to vendor exclusives and fan booth giveaways. This Week in Star Wars, your source for news, notes, and developments from the galaxy far, far away, will help you help yourself get the bag of swag you deserve. I'm your host, Matt Fox. Hello to everyone out there, and thank you for downloading this special episode of This Week in Star Wars. This show is going to take a little different form than the normal show. I'm just going to try to provide as comprehensive a list as is possible as of this date, July 27th, of what is going to be available at Star Wars Celebration 5, which is going to kick off in just over 2 weeks. Now, I'd like to start off by saying there is no single comprehensive list out there that seems to have everything. I'm going to try to amalgamate what I've found, but if there's something that I left off that you know about, please send us an email, host@thisweekinstarwars.com, and I'll get it into a regular episode between now and the beginning of Celebration. That said, we've got a long list, so let's just get started here. Hasbro, the biggest of the Star Wars licensees, is going to have 2 exclusives at Celebration. They're going to have another comic pack, this one with Cammy and Fixer, deleted characters from deleted scenes of Star Wars Episode 4. And they're also going to have the Zuckuss and 4-LOM 2-pack with the original transposed names from the vintage line. This is the same exclusive, exactly the same exclusive that was available earlier this year at JediCon, except this one will have a Celebration 5 sticker on the front, presumably, where the earlier one had a JediCon sticker. So if you're one of those obsessive carded collectors, you will need to get this. If you're a little more relaxed, you might be able to pass on it. Both of these exclusives, we have been told, will be available after the convention on the Hasbro.com, HasbroToyShop.com website, as well as the Star Wars Shop website. Take that under advisement, and also be aware that if past precedent is any precedent, there will also be a coupon code that is given away at Star Wars Celebration, so you might actually be able to get these figures online slightly cheaper than you can get them at the show, but you'll have to take shipping into account. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that these are going to be available at the Hasbro booth at Celebration 5, not the Celebration store. My basis, in fact, for that is pure supposition, and the fact that the official Celebration store catalog, which went online today, makes no reference to an exclusive figure. You'll remember at Celebration 4, the R2 and C-3PO Macquarie concept Celebration 4 exclusive was available in the store, while the Hasbro display was selling a different exclusive. So don't be surprised if, at Celebration 5, both of these 2-packs are available at the Hasbro booth. If we have any word one way or the other between now and the show, of course, I will report it. And we'll talk more about that Celebration 5 catalog later in this program. The next big retailer is LEGO. The Scandinavian brickmaker is going to have a set of 5 Empire Strikes Back Cube Dudes. They're going to be given away in a lottery similar to the 5 Cube Dudes that were made available at Comic-Con, as well as the Celebration 4 exclusive, which worked the same way, in that a certain allotment is made available each day. You go through the line, you get a ticket. Your ticket's either a winner or not a winner. And if you are a winner, you simply win the right to purchase the Cube Dudes, which will probably be somewhere in the $70 to $80 range. So be prepared for that. The 5 Cube Dudes are Boba Fett and his bounty hunting buddies. Longtime Star Wars licensee Topps Trading Cards is going to have 2 promo cards being given away. Those are the Star Wars Galaxy Celebration 5 promo card and a Clone Wars Bounty Hunter promo card. They may both be available from the first day, or they may stagger those, but there'll be plenty based on prior conventions. Acme Archives is going to make available a AT-AT sketch plate. These are limited to 1,000, and it's going to cost $35. Look for them near the art exhibits. Gentle Giant is taking sort of a different approach this year in that their Celebration and Comic-Con exclusives can be pre-ordered on their website and mailed to you after the show, so you don't even have to go by the booth. The Celebration 5 exclusives, which are currently available for pre-order for the Premier Guild members and will be made available for the general public later, are Boba Fett, the second in the series of 12-inch vintage figure reproductions, and a Clone Wars style Bossk maquette. Those go for $85 and $90 respectively. The 21B Surgical Droid Mini Bust, which was going to be a Celebration 5 exclusive, was not made available by the manufacturer in time, so don't look for that at the show. There will be some numbers of the Boba Fett and the Bossk maquette, and possibly the Stormtrooper and Darth Vader Mini Bust from Comic-Con at the Gentle Giant booth. Come armed for bear. Also available at the Gentle Giant booth are going to be the two Titan Magazines exclusives. That's a Star Wars Insider bookmark and a Star Wars Insider exclusive magazine with the Han Solo and Carbonite cover. Prices for those are not yet set. Your grandmother's favorite company, Hallmark, is going to have an ornament exclusive 2-pack with Boba Fett with a C5 logo and Yoda with an Empire Strikes Back logo. There's only 500 of that 2-pack, and it's going to go for $20. There's also a keepsake ornament with Star Wars quotes, and there's 2 different ones per day. Those are free. Action Figure Express has the Han Solo animated style maquette and Stormtrooper outfit, featuring the detention cell scene from A New Hope. That's going to be $90, limited to 300 at the Action Figure Express booth. They're also going to have the Star Wars Gentle Giant bookends with the Star Wars logo. They're going to have 100 of those for $60. Those are the same bookends that have been available at Borders, usually much cheaper than the $60. Cartamundi, the maker of playing cards, is going to have a couple exclusives. They have the 3D lenticular playing cards with Empire Strikes Back art. There's going to be 2,500 of those, and they're $25 a deck. The exclusive giveaway are 4 Macquarie Aces. I believe there's a different one each day, and those are free at the Cartamundi booth. And there's also going to be an uncut sheet of Clone Wars playing cards, limited to 275 sheets for $25 a piece. Dark Horse Comics is going to be giving away issue 0 of Knight Errant, while the Star Wars Tales from the Clone Wars trade paperback, which is a collection of all the Clone Wars webcomics from Season 1, and limited to 1,500 at the convention, although there will be some available online after the show, that's going to be $20, and it's available at artist Tom Hodges' booth. He's also going to have a number of other pieces of art available at the booth, ranging in price and some for free. So if you're into art, swing by Tom Hodges' booth, and then you can swing by the Dreams and Visions Press booth featuring the art of Ralph McQuarrie. They're going to have a $20 souvenir guide, a Ralph McQuarrie DVD for $15, and then several sets of prints ranging from $50 to $60, as well as a free set of Ralph McQuarrie trading cards. Plenty of book publishers are going to be at the show, in addition to Dark Horse, mentioned before. Random House Del Rey's booth is going to have a Fate of the Jedi audiobook raffle, Fate of the Jedi themed iPod skins, and they're also going to have available Knight Errant issue number 0. Scholastic Publishing is going to have Yoda or Darth Vader head-to-head stickers, while Becker and Meyer Books is going to have the Jedi Path Deluxe Edition raffle. I don't know what that is. If you need data storage, you have 2 options. Time Machines is going to have a Shadow Trooper USB thumb drive 2 gig and 16 gigs for $20 and $60 respectively. They're limited to 300. I don't know what the breakdown there is on storage size. While Memoco is going to have a Lobot USB flash drive, and with a more generous limit of 1,000, it's going to be available in 2, 8, and 16 gigs for $25, $35, and $70 respectively. Funko has 3 exclusives: the 501st Clone Trooper lamp with a digital alarm clock for $50, a Boba Fett bobblehead with a chrome base, limited to the Quizzical 480 pieces for $17, and a Rebel Alliance logoed set of headphones for $35. One more art booth on the main floor is Advanced Graphics. They're going to have a mini cardboard stand-up with art by popular artist Jake. That's limited to only 100, and it's going to be $30. Comic Images has 2 exclusives: a C-3PO backpack for $50 and a Wampa throw rug for $100. Super 7, the makers of the Stormtrooper Super Shogun, are going to be giving away a free vintage carded Kenner action figure with the purchase of said Stormtrooper Super Shogun. One more big retailer on the floor is Disney. They're going to have a Starspeeder 1000 sneak preview vehicle. This is in the 3 3/4 line, just like the Star Tours figures that they've been selling for the past several years. It's quote-unquote limited to 10,000, and it's going to be $25. They're going to have a Donald Duck action figure disguised as a Shadow Trooper. It's only limited to 5,000 pieces for $12. Disney goes to the Donald Duck well again with a Donald as Boba Fett watch and artwork set, limited to 75 pieces and selling for $200. The Last Tour to Endor event tee, not surprisingly in black, is going to be available for $24.95 or $25.95 for the XX version. And then there are going to be several pieces of art, again featuring Donald Duck, this time as Darth Maul, Goofy as Darth Vader, Mickey Mouse in an X-Wing pilot outfit, and a quote-unquote Sith artwork with Donald Duck in a traditional Stormtrooper, Goofy as Darth Vader, and Big Pete, Disney character I did not know until a few weeks ago when my kids started watching it. Big Pete disguised as Boba Fett, and a final piece of Goofy as Darth Vader artwork, different than the first. All of these are going to be available for over $3,000 for the actual original piece of art. And then there are going to be various reproductions from a couple $100 to $20. If Disney art and Star Wars mashups are your thing, you can go to psc.disney.go.com and look at the actual art and check the prices out. There are also several Disney Empire Strikes Back poster pins on sale, limited to 2,000 for $10 a piece, and in various combinations with other exclusive pins for either $80 or $325. There's also going to be a Star Tours Boarding Party 5-pin set for $35. And then a Disney and R2MK and Luke Skywalker at Beston pin. They're both $10. Those will all also be available at the Last Tour to Endor, we are told. That wraps up the retailer exclusive portion, and now we move on to the non-retailers, who are nonetheless providing swag, handouts, promos, etc. at Celebration 5. In no particular order, Dave Filoni, director of the Clone Wars animated show, is going to be giving away a Plo Kool button. As we all know, Dave Filoni is a big Plo Koon fan. If you find him during the show wearing a Clone Wars costume, you can approach him and get a free button. Yoda's Holonet.com. That website is going to be giving away a Yoda and Luke patch. It's limited to 200. I've seen it, preview. It looks pretty good. TheForce.net is going to be giving away a lapel pin, either an Imperial or a Rebel symbol. That's going to be at the Force.net party on Thursday night at the Wyndham Orlando Resort. The Kivecast, a podcast dedicated to vintage Star Wars collecting, is going to be giving away a Wampa Wampa lapel pin. If you are a vintage collector or were around for the vintage era, you know the in-joke of Wampa Wampa. 5 collecting clubs from around the country: the Florida Grand Alliance, the Pennsylvania Star Wars Collectors Club, the Kentucky Star Wars Collectors Club, the Ohio Star Wars Collectors Club, and our favorite club here at This Week in Star Wars, the DC Star Wars Collecting Club. Well, those 5 groups have gotten together to create a Boba Fett patch, and each group is giving away 1 wedge. Each group is independently determining how they will give out their wedge segment, and all those decisions have not yet been made. So I would refer you to the individual websites. Perhaps they have the information there. I do know that the DC Star Wars Collecting Club patch will be available at the DC Collecting Club booth. Also at the DC Collecting Club booth is going to be the biannual charity pin, this one featuring Luke on Tauntaun in front of the Washington Monument. Only 1,000 were made, and I know a number of them are already gone. They're going to be $10. And there's also going to be, as mentioned on a previous podcast, the set of 4 General Mills-esque breakfast cereal stickers featuring imagery from The Empire Strikes Back. 1 design is going to be available per day, but they're free, so swing on by each and every day. The collectors panels are back at Celebration 5, and as discussed before, and this year at each panel there will be a free miniature box of cereal with cereal box parodies of Star Wars kind of cereals. And they'll contain actual cereal, and there are 16 of those, and good luck getting them home in displayable condition, especially if you're flying. And then there's the Artist Hall, which is going to feature almost 50 artists with original prints for Celebration 5. Some of them look quite good. Some of them are reasonably priced. They are all very limited edition, and in the past they have always gone very quickly. So if you're looking for some art or something else classy for your house, check out the Artist Alley. You can preview the art on StarWars.com, so you know what you're getting into before you get there. And that brings us to the official Celebration 5 store. Today, StarWars.com made available a PDF featuring all these items I'm about to describe, and including nice color photos and descriptions with enough detail to make me wonder why I'm reciting them all for you here. But in the interests of a complete and thorough report, here we go. Lots and lots of t-shirts. There's the Hoth Brewing Company t-shirt, a Darth Vader custom speeder shirt, a Orlando shirt playing on the word Orlando, a Boba Fett jet ski t-shirt, a Boba Fett Celebration logo hoodie, a Beach Boys inspired Endless Celebration Stormtrooper with a surfboard t-shirt, and a Darth Gator t-shirt, Gator as in alligator. There are a couple different bowling shirts available. There is a Tauntaun logo polo shirt. Instead of the Ralph Lauren logo, it's a Tauntaun. Of course, it is black. A couple women's t-shirts, the Boba Fett on jet ski, as well as an I Love Scoundrels t-shirt. The His and Hers I Love You, I Know t-shirts are there. And a Princess Leia I Am Not a Committee t-shirt. A Light Up Lightsaber Duel t-shirt. A Darth Vader chest box light up t-shirt. Sort of like those t-shirts that people in junior high wore that made it look like they were wearing a tux. Well, this one makes it look like you're wearing Darth Vader's torso armor. Kids t-shirts include a Clone Wars villain shirt, a kids version of the Darth Vader custom speeder, and the Darth Gator t-shirt as well, and a Clone Wars Heroes shirt. Then there are 3 white t-shirts, Headless Han, Headless Leia, and Headless Rebel Pilot t-shirts, designed so that it looks like it's your face on those characters. And those are designed for the whole family, obviously, as the Han is an adult t-shirt, the Leia is an adult woman's t-shirt, and the X-Wing Luke is a children's shirt. Non-t-shirt goodies include the obligatory Ugnaught baby bodysuit and bib, a couple belt buckles, a Ralph McQuarrie design, there's a Yoda Christmas ornament, a Yoda ears hat, a children's Cad Bane hat, a Boba Fett Celebration logo cap, and a Celebration 5 logo visor. There is a Medicom super deformed vinyl Boba Fett. This is a repaint of the Super D Fett that has been available for some time. It's limited 250 pieces and costs $100. There is a plush Wampa stuffed animal with a removable arm for $50. There's a men's Lando cologne with a bottle that wears a cape. It is $40. And a woman Slave Leia perfume, $40 again. The Celebration 5 badge set is going to be available for $60, limited to 200 sets, and they'll be mailed after the convention. There'll also be a lanyard for $10. More pens, a Yoda boxed pen, a Boba Fett pen, and a Slave One on the Space Shuttle pen. All are $50, and all are limited to 150 pieces. There's a Boba Fett Celebration 5 logo sack for $15, a messenger bag for $60, and an I Love Scoundrels fanny pack for $30. The postcard set will cost you $10. What they're advertising as a retro tin sign, there are 4 of these. They harken back to the old sort of fruit basket advertising of the middle of the 20th century. There's, like I said, 4 of those. They're all $20 a piece. There's also coffee mugs to go along with those. The Welcome to Orlando art has also been made into a poster. It is $10. The official Celebration 5 program book is $16. And there's a Celebration 5 Boba Fett lithograph by Russell Walks. There's only 100 pieces, and it's $60. Then you've also got the standard assortment of magnets, keychains, and bumper stickers. Too numerous and boring to detail here. With one final item, the Lando Calrissian Disguise Kit, which consists of a stick-on mustache. It's $5, and will probably be the must-have collectible of the show. As I said, the complete catalog is available on StarWars.com. You can look at it, look at the t-shirts. Not all of them are black. And figure out the strategy for getting what you consider to be the most important gets of the show. And the last collectible that's going to be available is from This Week in Star Wars. It will be available from me. You can approach me at the convention and ask for it. And if I have any on me, I will be glad to provide. I will not be wearing a costume or any other distinctive flourishes, so I can't really tell you how to identify me. I'll be the fat bearded guy, and I'm sure I'll be the only one of those at the convention. I will also be at the DC Star Wars Collectors Club table on at least 3 occasions during the show, working the booth. And if I'm not there when you show up, you can ask, and whoever is working the booth should be able to tell you when I will be there. It's not a patch, it's not art, and it's not a pin. I thought there were quite enough of those already. So I hope to see you at the show, and I hope you're pleasantly surprised. And if you're not pleasantly surprised, you don't have much to complain about because it will have cost you nothing. And that wraps up this preview episode. Celebration 5, as you no doubt know by now, will take place in Orlando, Florida at the Orange County Convention Center between August 12th and 15th. I can recite that from memory. I intend to present a similar podcast in the next week or so, detailing the events and programming at the convention, so you can figure out where you're going to be when you're not on the exhibit floor trying to get all these exclusives and collectibles that we discussed here today. It is also my intention to bring a regularly scheduled This Week in Star Wars sometime by the weekend coming up, so keep an eye out for that as well. Thank you for sticking with this rather long and rambling podcast, but I hope you found it useful. As always, we welcome any show suggestions, news stories, tips, questions, comments, or suggestions. Just email them to host@thisweekinstarwars.com. You can visit our website at www.thisweekinstarwars.com or go to our Facebook page. And please, 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 I encourage all the listeners out there to go to iTunes and write a review. I hope a positive one of This Week in Star Wars. Thanks again for listening to this special episode, and we will return in a few days with a regularly scheduled summary of what has happened this week in Star Wars.
This Week in Star Wars is not affiliated with Lucasfilm, its subsidiaries, or any other entity mentioned in this podcast. Star Wars, its characters, and creations are the property of Lucasfilm. All other trademarks are property of their respective trademark owners. This Week in Star Wars is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. This podcast is copyright 2010 This Week in Star Wars. Invaluable technical assistance provided by WebStorm Interactive. News, comments, and questions can be directed to host@thisweekinstarwars.com. More information, links to stories presented, past episodes, and additional contact information are available at www.thisweekinstarwars.com.
I'm a man. I'm 40.